Hi, everybody. It's Kelly Robinson, one of the assistant directors in the Center for Career Development, and welcome to the recorded presentation regarding Davidson and Washington Summer 2021. Normally, we would be having this presentation in person after everyone has been accepted into the program, but COVID, as usual, has us doing things a little bit differently this year. And so what I'd like to do is I'm going to present information about Davidson and Washington, specifically honing in on the internship search, which I know is the question that a lot of people will be having. So I've actually put together a PowerPoint that will also accompany this particular recording as a resource in the Handshake resources section. So know that you'll have access to the PowerPoint there. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Here we are talking about Davidson and Washington. I'm actually really excited that the program is still able to continue, even though it is going to be in a little bit of a different format. So let's talk about these program details. As many of you probably already know, Davidson and Washington is an 8-week summer experience. This year is going to be a little bit different in that the seminar will be required participation. The internship will be optional. The seminar is going to be virtual, and students who do participate in the seminar will earn 1 academic credit for that. The topic for this summer's seminar: race and place, structural inequality, and US public policy, which sounds like a very interesting and very timely topic to be discussing about. So I'm excited for people to be talking about that. Dr. Murray, who is a professor in the Political Science and Education Studies department, is the faculty advisor for Davidson in Washington 2021, and she will be leading that seminar. As I mentioned, the internship is optional, and it also can be done remotely or with an organization in person, depending on what the internship format is. It also can be done in or outside of DC. So there's a little bit of flexibility this summer, which I hope you guys will embrace. And anyone who participates in an internship can earn 1 academic credit for that internship. Who's eligible to participate in Davidson and Washington? Any rising sophomores, juniors, or seniors are eligible to apply. Preference will be given to upper class students. Any major, or even someone who has yet to declare a major, is also welcome to apply, as long as you meet the minimum GPA requirement of a 2.5. Here is a close look at the program application timeline. Again, it's a little bit different this year. In a normal year, the Davidson and Washington application season would be in the fall semester, and applicants would be selected by the end of the fall semester, and we would be having this presentation to the students who are admitted. So a little bit different this year in that the program application actually will open up January 4th, and that application will be as a job listing in Handshake. You'll have until February 12th to submit your application, and applicants will be notified of acceptance by February 26th. There is aid and scholarship availability with respect to tuition and payment for the program, and awards of that will be announced by March 5th. And the deadline for your internship to be approved for the program, if you are planning to do an internship, is May 1st. How to apply. Starting January 4th, go to your Handshake profile, go to your Handshake account, and you will look in the job section for the job posting Davidson and Washington 2021, and you will apply to that job, to the program, through Handshake. What you'll be submitting in application is a resume and cover letter, as well as a Google form that will be included in the job posting that you will be asked to complete. A note about resumes. Resumes that have not yet been approved for use in Handshake will be reviewed as part of the required resume review process when you are applying to the program. So what that means is if you have not yet ever submitted a resume to Handshake, either simply uploading the document to your account or applying to any position posted in Handshake, that resume will be reviewed by a career advisor as part of the required resume review process. Once your resume is reviewed and approved, it's approved forever. So it's not that you'll have to have a resume reviewed and approved for the program and then every internship that you apply to after that through Handshake. But be mindful of that additional step in the process, that you will have your resume reviewed by a career advisor if it hasn't yet been reviewed or approved. And usually those are reviewed and approved, or reviewed, I should say, within 24 to 48 hours. Any questions that you may have regarding the program? So anything related to the application process or the components of applying to the program. If you have questions about eligibility for application to the program, or questions about internships that you are considering and you want to know if they are eligible for the academic credit option through Davidson and Washington, please contact Dr. Murray regarding these particular questions, and here is her email where you can reach her. Where our role, the Center for Career Development, and where my role comes in with Davidson and Washington is to assist all of you who are searching for internships in that search. So a few things to keep in mind with regard to the internship search for Davidson and Washington. Program participants who want to complete an internship are responsible for conducting their own internship search. Sometimes students will be under the impression that this is a program where once you're accepted into the program, there's a list of internships that students are then placed into, and that's not the case. This is going to be great experience for you when it comes to doing your job search later on, because for this program, you'll be responsible for finding internship opportunities of interest, applying to those internships, and going through the application and the interview process. And so it's going to be great practice for you. So know that that is a big component of the internship search. Whether or not an internship is eligible is determined again by Dr. Murray. And what we're suggesting is use this summer's flexibility to think outside the box. Certainly looking for internships in DC, legislative think tanks, policy organizations is definitely something to be considering. But know that your internships could be located in any particular city. So there are some fantastic opportunities in, the bigger cities again, like New York or Philadelphia. There are also probably options available, definitely options available, I should say, at local and state governments if you're very government focused. If you are interested in education policy, consider looking to a school district or a school education affiliated organization. If you're interested in environment, consider looking to perhaps local organizations near your home where environmental policy at the local level are being discussed. So know that the remote aspect and the opportunity to do internships outside DC presents a lot of flexibility in terms of the internship that you might be considering. But again, if you have questions as to whether or not the internship fits the criteria for the credit for Davidson and Washington, I encourage you to email Dr. Murray with a description of that internship so that she can review that with you. Keep in mind also that when you are applying to internships, the most common application materials are going to be your resume and cover letter. But I also want students to be aware that there sometimes may be supplemental application materials that you will be asked to provide. The common application materials include a copy of your transcript, which very oftentimes can be an unofficial copy. That means that you obtain a copy of the transcript from the registrar's office and submit that copy along with your application materials. But be mindful of that in case they are looking for an official transcript to be sent. That means that you request the transcript be sent from the Davidson Registrar's Office directly to the organization that you are applying to. They may also request that you submit references along with your application material. So be prepared to provide the names and contact information of likely up to 2 or 3 people whom could speak about your skills and qualifications for the position. And finally, especially obviously a very writing intensive focused internship, they may ask you to provide a writing sample. I always encourage students for these positions, be mindful that your cover letter is likely already being viewed as a writing sample, but they're also perhaps going to be asking you to submit an additional writing sample, and that can come from a variety of areas. Follow the criteria that they give. And if they're not giving criteria, what I usually suggest to students is take a snippet of, perhaps a paper that you've written for a class that you can submit for that writing sample. Biggest question that students have, how do I find internships? So what I've broken it down here, a few things to keep in mind is searching for internships can be online or they can be networking. And we're going to talk about both today. Please know that in this particular PowerPoint, all of the resources that are listed here are hyperlinked. So you can go into the PowerPoint and you can access those hyperlinks, but I encourage you to access them where they're found, which is going to be most oftentimes in Handshake. So Handshake can be a primary resource for finding internship opportunities. The one thing that you want to make sure that you do is make sure that your career interests in Handshake are up to date. And we're going to go over that in just a bit. One of the biggest resources for finding opportunities through Handshake is searching for positions that are posted. Search for internships in the jobs section. You're going to start to see more internships posted in the spring semester, since that is typically when these types of internships that will be taking place in the summer are posted on job boards. Another resource, speaking of job boards, because there are many job and internship boards that you can access, check out the resource guide in the Handshake resources section, specifically for government, public policy, and international job search, where you will find all sorts of information and all sorts of job boards and other resources for finding internships related to these specific fields. Know that there are other resources related to other industries. So for example, as I mentioned previously, if you have an interest in education, you might want to check out the education resource guide. If you have an interest in science or environment, check out those respective guides in Handshake as well. If you're having questions about how to best utilize Handshake, I know that oftentimes students, they recognize to go to Handshake for searching for jobs, but not recognizing all of the ways that Handshake can be of assistance. In the resources section, check out the Wildcat Ready series specifically for Handshake. This is a series of videos that walks you through how to best maximize Handshake whenever you are job searching. Another great resource that's been provided to us from the Dean Rusk International Studies Program is a comprehensive list of nonprofit boards and resources. Thank you very much to Dr. Zimmerman and her staff for putting this amazing resource together that really focuses on nonprofits and organizations focused on policy and international policy. LinkedIn, I'm sure you have all heard of LinkedIn, is a great place where you can find internship postings. And so know that that can be a resource to target as well. Speaking of targeted, look for emails, both from the Center for Career Development as well as from myself. Getting back to the career interests, making sure that those are checked off in Handshake, which we'll go over in a little bit. Our office sends out targeted messages to students every week that target the particular career interests that we'll be taking a look at. Be sure that your career interests in Handshake reflect having an interest in public policy, government, international studies, so that you're receiving those targeted messages. Once the program is off and running and students who are admitted to the program, I will be sending every week to every other week a list of internship leads that I am finding, and I will be emailing those. To be honest, those leads are coming from the sources that I'm recommending that you guys be searching as well, Handshake and LinkedIn. So speaking of searching, I just want to go over and show you what it is that I'm talking about with regard to Handshake. So here we have my Handshake student account that I have set up for reference. So when I'm talking about the career interests, I want you to log into Handshake, and in your profile, go to this particular section called Career Interests. And when you are scrolling down, pay close attention to the Davidson career clusters. Make sure that this accurately reflects all of the interests that you have. For this particular program, obviously recommending that public policy, politics, government, and law be checked off. But I would also encourage education, social community services, and nonprofits, because many internship leads will be found in that area, as well as communications and marketing can be a great resource, but really check any that are applicable to your particular career interests. This section drives the targeted messages that you will receive from the Center for Career Development, as well as drives what's going to populate your particular resource section. So to access the resources section, go to the Career Center and access resources. And there are comprehensive resources that are in this particular section that, one, are applicable to all students. So if you have questions about resumes, if you have questions about interviewing, the Wildcat Ready series that I talked about with regard to Handshake can also be found in here. But you want to make sure that your career interests are checked so that you can have access to the particular resources that are relevant to that interest. So just make sure that those are there. And so, for example, the government and public policy resource, lots of information in here, including finding jobs and internships. Okay. So online can be a great way to find resources, but one of your prime ways to find particular internships, is networking. And I know that you've heard about networking. We all hear about networking. Networking needs to become a part of your professional development, and there's no better time to start that than when you are internship searching. And so I have here resources to help you understand networking, as well as resources and ideas for where you can find people to network with. And so when it comes to where you find people, I always encourage, start with those warm and fuzzy contacts, as I call them. These are going to be family, friends, friends of your family and family of your friends, professors who you have worked with, advisors, coaches, perhaps, previous teachers through high school or previous supervisors, neighbors, people that you know at church, people that you volunteer with. Let people know that you are searching for internships related to, and fill in the blank, your area of interest. You never know who in your warm and fuzzy contacts knows somebody who works in that particular industry or works for an organization or a company that might be of interest to you. So the more people who you can let know you are searching, the more people who are going to perhaps be able to assist you in connecting you with people who can talk about their work and who can perhaps talk about internships that might be available at their organizations. Another great resource for finding people to talk to is the alumni network. You are a Davidson Wildcat. You have access to a tremendously large and helpful network of alums who are very willing and interested in talking to Davidson students about their professional development and about their career search. Two resources where you can find alumni: Davidson Connect, which is an online platform specifically for the purpose of connecting Davidson students and alumni, as well as LinkedIn. There are over 17,000 Davidson alums on LinkedIn, and through the LinkedIn page, you can easily find them and connect with them. So in Handshake, again, in the resources section, there are some great resources to help you find and connect with and communicate with people. So let's go back to Handshake and let's go again into the resources section. Many can be found in our series Wildcat Ready. Series of videos that are how-to videos that walk you through how to use and then fill in the blank. So for example, how to use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing resource. And here we have, just 5 videos. I think the longest one, or 6 videos. The longest one is 5 minutes in length, that walks you through how to effectively utilize LinkedIn Paying close attention to the third and the fourth video, the alumni search and reaching out, can really help guide you through how to find alums on LinkedIn and how to connect with them. Another resource that does the same thing is Davidson Connect. This is a resource that walks you through how to utilize Davidson Connect. Paying close attention to video number 2, Davidson Connect has a mentoring section. These are alums who have volunteered to be career resources for Davidson students. And so it's a tremendous resource to connect with people for professional development. And in this particular instance, seeking to find internship opportunities. So I would definitely pay close attention to video number 2, where it talks about mentoring. When we talk about how do you network anyway, because I know that we'd use the word networking very interchangeably, but oftentimes students will ask, yeah, but how do you network anyway? So this series of Wildcat Ready YouTube videos walks you through the very simple steps of what networking is and how to find people and how to reach out to them and how to effectively conduct that informational meeting for the purpose of learning about a particular profession or the purpose of learning about internship opportunities. So I highly encourage you to check out all of these particular videos in this Wildcat Ready series. Another resource that can be very helpful as well is the networking guide that walks through a lot of what we're talking about, but is presented here. So again, just to show you some of these particular resources that we're talking about, here we have Davidson Connect, which is the alumni platform that I was referencing, okay? And the mentoring section, tremendous opportunities to find people searching through a variety of criteria. If you wanted to see if somebody is, working for a particular company or organization, you can also search by, particular industry. And so when you do your search and enter your search criteria, you can see over here the willing to help banners. This indicates people who have volunteered to be career resources. So I randomly clicked on Rebecca just to show you an example of what a profile will look like, and provides the different industries that she has worked in. Over here, the willing to help, this indicates what Rebecca, she has volunteered to do. I'm looking for career conversations, which 99.999% of the alums are willing to do. And it shows you here how to request help. I'm going to ask for a career conversation, and then I'm going to be writing my email. In the networking guide that I referenced previously in the resources section in Handshake, there are actually sample email templates that you can copy and paste and edit to fit your particular needs to help you get started on sending this particular email. But obviously I'm going to discard, but just wanted to show you what Davidson Connect looks like. And again, the Wildcat Ready Davidson Connect series walks you through step-by-step how to use this, as does the Wildcat Ready series for LinkedIn, because there are so many ways that you can connect with alums on LinkedIn. So I've gone to the Davidson College LinkedIn page and I'm searching for alumni. And here we have those 17,000 alums that I was talking about. We can search for a particular alumni. You can do a variety of searches. You can search by keyword. You can search by a title or an organization. Perhaps I search Washington, D.C. And here we're going to have people who work in a variety of industries. And not only are you interested in perhaps where they are working now, but check out their profile to find out where they have previously worked, because there may be organizations that they've previously worked at that you might also be interested in. And having a conversation with them, you can ask, I noticed that you worked at this particular organization previously. Is it possible that you could connect me with people who work at that particular organization? And that, my friends, is networking. So all of these resources are listed here. Okay, Next step, some internship search tips that I like to offer people. Be sure to target your resume and your cover letter for particular positions that you are applying to. That's going to help it get noticed. So even if you're applying to positions that are in a very similar common profession, you're interested in international public policy, there are ways that you can tweak that cover letter that you're sending to really zero in on that particular organization's internship or that particular organization's mission. When you target your resume and cover letter, I encourage people, if you've had an opportunity to do experiences up to this point, if you've had previous internships, if you've had volunteer experiences or part-time jobs, or even clubs or organizations that you've been involved in, perhaps, in Davidson or previously at high school, if maybe you're only in your first year. If any of those particular positions relate to internships that you are applying to, I encourage on that resume, develop a category called related experience, where you can list those particular experiences to help draw attention to them on the resume. You want to apply to many internships. And I put the number 30 in here to indicate I always encourage double digits, but when I say double digit applications, I don't just mean 10. The more applications that you apply to, targeted, but the more applications that you apply to, that increases your yield in terms of the number of internship opportunities that you may have. And because you're going to be applying to so many opportunities, I strongly recommend that you start some kind of tracking system, perhaps as simple as a spreadsheet where you have perhaps maybe one tab is looking at public policy. Another tab has internships you're applying to that are related to legislative or working on the Hill. You may do it by particular industries. So if you know you're interested in policy, in a lot of different topical areas. Maybe one tab in that spreadsheet is policy for education. Another tab is policy for environment. Another tab is policy for healthcare. In some way, whatever works for you, start a tracking system so you can keep track of the applications that you have submitted and their status. You can keep track of people who you have networked with and the status of that or the outcome of that career conversation, who they referred you to, and who you've connected. So save yourself a lot of headache later by starting a tracking system now. And again, let people know you're searching. The more people who you let know you are searching for an internship, the more people can be better able to assist you with that. How to reach me. I encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions particular to your internship search related to Davidson and Washington. You can schedule an appointment with me through Handshake. Go into the Career Center, select appointments, and then schedule new appointment. Go to the general exploratory category where you can select Davidson and Washington and schedule an appointment with me. I will say that my calendar fills up fast. So I encourage you to take advantage of the walk-in hours that I offer in the semester every Wednesday from 1 to 5. Hop on that Zoom link that you see there, have a seat in the waiting room, and we can chat for 15 to 20 minutes about your internship search. If you have questions by email, certainly reach out to me. I just, ask, please allow me 1 to 2 days to reply. There's a lot of you guys and there's only one of me. So I will get to your email as timely as I can. If you're viewing this video over the winter break, please know that our office is closed for the holiday break starting December 19th through January 3rd. So I won't be checking email then, but we'll get to your email when we return to the office on the 4th. Okay, so I'm excited for everybody who is interested in the Davidson and Washington program. Looking forward to working with you. I hope that the resources that you find in this program, can help guide you in terms of the internship search. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Have a great day, everybody.